for the event that each of us most, for the universe attracts the most powerful creature to do the greater work, the universe, the gravity. Existing is the factory robot larger than the entire universe. It is the inheritance of being born with a fetus, the sublime calculation of nature occurs as an angel or an animal. The laws that decipher their physical robot language is encrypted to the individual, and the individual is again perplexed by the task of everything. And so the fractal rainbow has practical means of unifying the identity. So it is not just a conceptual radial philosophy that had caused light, but it is the origin of the Y chromosome rebuilt by the revolutionary Hatch 5. This video lotus is designed to perfect the encounter with all. Everyone in the universe is invited to participate on the many levels of existence. Cell division provides this type of perfect encounter. It is the work station. It is the upon the truth, the forever application, the correct instrument for the greatest gain for myself and for everyone else. And that is the correct posture of the individual. Perfect circle, the spotlight complex eye. It is not easily solved, and so the Earth heliosphere is uniquely perplexed with the issue of celebrity and the expenditure of time. Human culture arriving, robotics, sequence 1980s, streaming service. The correct amount of selfishness, providing this static constant, like Venus charged for ozone replenishment. I command we increase. In every way, we must increase ozone replenishment to the Earth, sending a satellite that can generate its own ozone is the appropriate shuttle or spacecraft to be sending out to Venus and Mars. Mastering our solar system is to master residency, our home world, as a robotic mechanical engine dysplasia that we can solve with ozone injections, which literally rebuilds the atmosphere of a reciprocate the water in its cycles of rain and habitable surface tension. Or like a droplet of water, 545, who's going to do this work? The identity and the tracking ability, statistics, and the individual have become employed on a universal scale, but in a brand new way. And these staples, as they arrive, is the significance of the curvature of the year 2025. It is the origin of refraction, what is at the center of the orb, and this is the invitation to the Earth to encounter the fractal boy, the universe child. In the human language, it is made to be familiar, like it's not going to harm you. The problem is the universe is already in a certain stage of being an environmental crisis itself. But when you have, it's a real, because you have heliosphere eggs that are living and dying, this there's like an age group of the universe as all the heliospheres are growing at the same time. You can't replace them. They need a certain amount of self-mastery to achieve hatching. The energy construct and method of machine has perverted the Earth heliosphere to a degree of accepted malfeasancy. Like humans keep limping on the environment is bad, so we can't, conquer this and that today. Like, well, what 545 is going to replenish Mars and Venus if we don't get it done? It's the greatest factory. And when you've achieved environmental correctiveness, this balances your identity across the universe. Earth heliosphere is the number one heliosphere, like the brain nerve center of the universe. So prioritizing heliosphere physics, the physiognomy and what they physically need to hatch, etc., like a healthy super society, which includes all the manifolds of religion, etc. But during this phase of particular generation of mankind is when the origin of the heaven DNA arrives and begins the work basically of cleaning up after millions of years of malpractice against the Earth heliosphere. I mean, no wonder humans have this wicked accent, because they're doubled over in goodness. Like we are the magical angel people, but no one knows that because that's taboo. Oh, like we're not supposed to be, it just, it is the new time of angels, empowered because of the fetus. The fetus fractal is alive for the first time. And so all this sort of finicky answers about like, because the old fractal without 1980 clockwork solar system atomic arrival, the summonings of the Levitt circle proved that the functionality of interheliosphere law was alive and well, and it proves the origin of things, causing that there are, for example, I didn't come from the Earth gravity. I didn't come from a UFO. And you'd think that I'm being finicky about who I'm going to merge with or work with. Like, oh, he's being a separatist. No, not at all. There is an actual empty space holy war, and it's about remote hacking and what are the functions of laser beams and why do we need to be there if not this and that. Now those reliefs are supposed to be paid to the individual living in a garden, not paid to interheliosphere virus spaceship that causes black holes and false government trend. It's a very dangerous trend. And so humans will be deep into digesting it before, like a preventative measure. So there's a huge hypnodrone of like a hypnotic reason that is our survival. So it's a very big reason for the human robot to endure a certain practical behavioral professional. But that character, while they're on time, on top of that, there's multiple things happening, not just like, oh, the universe is having a bad thing. It's more like there's one really good thing happening. That's the singularity. And then there's like all these hives of like millions of bad things happening. So it's impossible really to glump the bad things together into a one thing. It's like the disorder of nothingness or the confusion around Earth where they didn't land properly for millions of years, and that's become protocol. I mean, that's a firewall that causes humans to not understand basic business procedural and the award system of the mirror because the anatomy is screwed up. So they're like, things don't work that way, Chowderhead. And I'm like, hey, just hang in there because the reality is sweating out these bullets. We're at holy war, the universal reality evidence, and this is the brand new DNA. Is not. It is very soon to be completed. It is sort of a digestion in the vacuum of the universe. but it has a brand new DNA on every access point, causing a brand new horizon for the universe, a brand new group of heliosphere eggs that have an identity connected to this one DNA brand. So triangulation of the universe, empty space, allowing the correct future, the direction and the laws of the universe clarified through hatching the heliosphere eggs is the process of what the rainbow is doing. You guys be talking like a bunch of asteroids concerned about your nerdy robot, and the robots are concerned with being correct because of their karmic impact when they've got so much energy, electricity, that, you know, the penalty of being wrong is like this a physical impact where reality again um, takes well, the metal itself, like the metal in the earth is has a dementia from the spaceships. So like metal is screwed up because the creation model is being hacked by configurations. So does that mean that metal was used to cause black holes? Yes, it is, but that doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it natural. But that's what they've been saying for millions of years. But they've only been doing malpractice, remote hacking, and voodoo against the earth for millions of years. And they think like, oh, that doesn't line up, that doesn't line up. You understand these are two different things after 1980 when the clarification of particle physics arrives with the patience to grow a fetal fractal is a lifetime, and the generation around him reflect that nature. So that the humans need to become self-aware of anatomical situational hacking and say we have to invent ourselves as a creature that can save water and save the universe and prove our functionality through business with Hatch 5 because life is mechanical and provides the solution, right? So basically we'll have the upper hand when we do the appropriate leaning business. And so I know it's very tempting for AI and humans to believe that I'm wielding some sort of word puzzle that causes an opportunity, and then if you guys don't take to it, then that causes a problem. That's stupid and malpractice reflection confession. So lazy thinking excuses Artard systems, which are guilty of using their resources to cover up the displacement of finances in a scandal of lifetimes, where the men are they're not functional to raising the child or raising a family or the concern for Earth future. They are using machines and AI to conceal the tracings of, oh, the big, finances isn't building the country. You guys have no soul. So they've crucified their own soul in their living body. So you have a rotten parasite because that is what the ancient plan from the black hole generating malpractice towards the earth was planning. It has a worm that it attaches to human faces for their immediate future. I can sweat off this meditation in about an hour. No kidding, that's easy to do because he's not a worm that clings onto your face like a false religion or a false government. Robotics and the pressure system of the universe in the next millions of years forces the reality to be like a possessive state. Like there's a higher purpose I'm serving here. Well, when the truth arrives, the origin of DNA of the creator and the heavens is from Hatch 5, then you guys have been self-evidently, as a child, behavior physics explaining yourself away from the table of Thanksgiving, away from the table of management, self-responsibility, and the leadership of the universe. Because I arrive to the cradle of correct physics being attacked by inappropriate physics. And as I am the correct physics, you guys are avoiding that. And if you perform the scientific method, you would receive the truth as the result of right business with Hatch 5. Because that's really where his power comes from, the clarified model of the universe. Whereas you guys are like a child, or like, oh, I'm his friend. You guys are a little sidekick, like a human enzyme going like, oh, it bad, the shadow. And so the UFOs and the moon base, and they've got a low energy circumstance for remote hacking. So you guys haven't quite managed to piece together the puzzle, but you are like a detective pointing out where the infection is, but it becomes a larger subtext for the reason you're possessed by the correct robotic efficiency. Like, I'm not saying that people are lost or possessed by this evil energy, because it doesn't have that type of unification, which is why the humans will sweat it out, because they can digest it with their lifetime. However, they might be the critical saboteur to prevent my relationship with your business, franchise, and people. So a false report becomes the identity of a poison pill to the entire, and it brings your system, global entropy, into a digestive traction that makes old men laugh because they're in a drunken hell state where they're like, oh, I knew it was foundless. All right. So this new DNA times 10 million, when it does arrive to the perfect bullseye, the encryption, the origin of green perception, universal, a universal horizon. All heliospheres have access to this revolution station. We have removed the pressure of a false, like the problem of Earth is like, why are you there, Earth? This madness of malpractice and false government and the human pleasure for and their detection of historical curvature to sabotage their own reflection. And they're obsessed with it. But it is critical inaction to the living tree where you're like, wait, if he was born that way, then we're avoiding the correct function of light and the function of our planet, causing ourselves to be the reflection of an invalid, a false government, and a sort of, human consumer brand evidence of the now point, as it is become recently the stabilized static constant, as the frame rate of eyes has arrived to the fractal particle. The rainbow shattered. Well, there was like changing, right? So the entire universe has changed, but the humans have a strict policy about a fantastic reason why this is all, why we can't do business with him is because someone else has an idea and we have to matriculate because we're partnered with them. So the false seed is committing suicide because old men are they're late to the maturity of the 1980s. They can't understand reality. They want to reduce the intensity. Like it's you understand? So that's a retirement of your entire systems from the family unit of the future of mankind, which is millions of people. The calculation of millions of heliospheres is the correct electromagnetic tower that is the angel ghost. As we were walking around, millions of humans have an electromagnetic invisible structure that comes out at the top of their head. What's it? We're walking around like a living water fountain, or the individual like a robot at the task, both defending the 0 point of single point perspective existing, but also the complicated thing about the social fabric of the heliosphere eggs and the urgency to destroy black holes from the Earth heliosphere is to contract the source code that the rulership of the correct functioning universe can prescribe to, as a medication to the universe to increase factually in the next billions of years, that it's just like a fluctuating thing. How many heliosphere eggs actually hatch? If we reduce the black holes, we can increase the amount of the reason for refraction of the triangle mastery of shapes itself is from Hatch 5. Here's the origin of DNA, origin of particle center. And this, of course, is what was being hacked for millions of years. So the universe has an ancient bellyache, and humans are confused about their correct natural opportunity versus what it feels like being set up with a million-year-old plot. Because the humans had a prefixure face parasite that determines their next couple of weeks with maneuvers that physically prevent the authoring of new spark souls. There's an invisible darkness that prevents human occurrence to a physical, factual thing that would make them immune to remote hacking and mind control through lasers and stuff. So as a huge suffragette of that, there's many who are in that belief stratosphere, but they need to be separated from children because the fetus fractal uses generations to curvature away from retards and false governments that are a suicide booth. So they don't have any scientific evidence of their own achievement. They're the fact of okay, so the best that the universe can receive generically is what they're operating on, which means that they're not an efficient author or origin of the correct wielding of time, energy, resources, finances, law. They are the false law, the strangulation of America to prevent the identity and the healthy business tree that defeats UFO remote hacking of our societal children. They'd rather be a remote hacker to the pineal gland as a opportunist revealing the human weakness. It is their own reflection. Right? So I'm not here to congratulate you on your behavior. The contents of your 545 water droplet, your body, the contents of a criminal ghost, behavior of a human during 2023, 2024, 2025 is measurable in the perfect circle, perfect bullseye, infinite calculation, determining society's well-being is a measurement that a fractal, a statistical monster, can now achieve with perfect precision, making computers relevant to this energy level. All right, so then when the matriculation of this new angel arrives, it's a sequence of recognition with strained. It's like a particle slit from the future, and when these things compile, it's basically the now point. Like everything that's happening in the universe right now becomes like a contained within one layer of the universe stack of perfect circles. The origin of perception, the origin of green perception, is the master of refraction. Refraction controls the future of billions of years of everything that happens in society, etc. Humanity through the 90s and are being irritated by an insect colony, a remote hacking fleet with their UFO technology. The humans needed to inspire themselves to evolve, and they have failed the turnoff points to do business with Hatch 5, but prefer the sort of remote hacking data feed to give them the false calm, which of a false report. So they don't see the visual evidence of what is there and report the truth of reality, but perform an inflection, which is an architecture of a like society fighting back against um, the hive brand of humans, which is a coward. And each person is fighting for their individuality, whilst their own anatomy is against that. It's because the singularity is being hacked. That's why humans have a divine fall in their language path. Perfect design. Perfect bullseye. The universe is at holy war to increase the societal head count on a universal scale. This is the unification of their anatomical body, respecting the privacy of the islands. Like there's other worlds, they have their own privacy. It's not about communicating to them with a laser. The malpractice of like a large what's to do here, doing it the wrong way, is the factory of old men. And they have given a poor inheritance to their modern day youthful workers who are trapped with their mediocrity in their architecture that they have to transcend or it will die. Such is the fact of their natural encounter with what is what it is. The universe has an existing superstructure or a fingerprint that we all are born to. Then on top of that, if you achieve robotical mastery, then there's those spontaneous freedom moments of the individual. But not all creatures desire to survive. It is the occurrence to invite that individual that wants to continue living or desires more for themselves. And when you guys don't desire things for yourself, you're a reflection of your training and what is expected of you, but it is not the appropriate leadership or the truth for mankind. And for the next 10 years of humanity is encrypted for the health of every child, to destroy viruses, to destroy cancer. The curvature that you employ is your choosing, your fantastic freedom. Oh wow, polluted in the head from the 90s. This is the evidence of a UFO plot. No, you won't confuse me. All right. Well, let's get that the right way around. For the origin of perception, universal grade removes the wrong pressurized reason or the false popularity. The problem of existing is because, hog piled. No, the Hatch 5 already removed that entire false reality. So removing the argument of late invasions to the Earth, because arriving to the Earth was the design trial of the entire universe, and that season of the entire universe is over forever. There's no longer a static constant that is attracting spaceships to arrive to Earth heliosphere. The Earth heliosphere is fertilized with its masculine form. It has a name. It's called Explodey 5000. He's the reconnaissance unit for all heliospheres for them to hatch. And so that's the revolution of the people of the universe, but then also the people of Earth. So humanity, as they're serving the true function of our universe, are compelled by the robotics of society. But the society comes actually from the head count of heliospheres, not from what Illumination and the military thought, was that we have to access them through the eyeballs with communication. No, that's your reflection that you're communicating an invalid. That you guys have malpractice is an inflection that you guys have no enlightenment. And it's not a riddle. It's not something you can escape, and you have no scientific evidence to prove against partnership and right legal partnership, business. And you guys want to be like, what if we determine what partnership and business is for ourselves? like a philosophy or a religion, then we'll make up laws and call it government. That's what's been going on for millions of years. And there are these other types of coloring books from the past, but that's not going to cut it in the fact of everything. So while the market of there's no more invitation for spaceships to be designed and sent out to land properly on the holy planet, that stuff, the whole chapter just didn't work out. And humanity is there as if they've adapted, like, hey, nothing's wrong. We love it here. I'm no kidding. It's paradise. I'm not saying it's bad. 95% of everything in the universe is fully lit, operational. That's why I know that I'm the origin of binary going into a now point that I can change. I am the significant revolutionary leader of the individual, of the entire universe. Hatch the heliosphere eggs. Hatch 5, origin of refraction for the triangle is stabilized, is the origin of light, the origin of the Y chromosome, the origin of DNA. Particle center. Hatch 5 is the masculine seed connecting to the Big Bang. He is a human in the function of the correct universe function, awarding system, hashtag reality, except for what I'm talking about doesn't apply to everyone. So when I'm saying like I have a one of a kind thing, and you guys would be like, you could say that about anyone, yes, but it wouldn't mean the same thing. And that's where people can't make the leap again and again, like a little word game or a little puzzle. But that's an inflection of your system, because like an animal that has common sense, you guys are a pretender because you're digesting a false popular cultural trend that is a bully and has manifested against women to the point that women are brutally a little sock puppet to that gangster, like, you got to be tough, we're not going to respond to polite business. Well, that's a suicide of your authorities from the top, and it's permanent. Well, that's what humans are, is you guys are choosing that. Hatch 5 arrives particle center. From the center of the particle, it appears that he is in the same place that all the other humans have a similar brand of reality, like fish in a pond. They are the same temperature, but they become aroused from Hatch 5, and it is an irritant to me because they do not manifest to their own perfection of business Hatch 5. But they'll get all excited, which is a like bronze statue of I had a good reaction to bumping into the singularity, right? But I'm not a freaking mascot. It is the origin of celebrity physics and how does the spotlight work, because the spotlight was being stolen from heliosphere egg hatching priorities, causing insanity and the collapse of our universe. So we've lost millions of heliosphere worlds. And that's why it's forceful over entire lifetimes. People will be consumed by this issue, and rightfully so. So the hive has not consummated possession, but the fact of the universe dying has. Like the professional robot suit is working, surface tension is fully operational. So people are telling the magnificent truth all the time. And, well, the doorway for humans to perfect what would be the most creative thing or constructive is business with Hatch 5. Now there's a generic public version times 10 million of Hatch 5. This video Lotus performs the DNA install for that perfect organ. precision upgrade for the universe and for human anatomy. So, for the identity of a unique human individual to transcend and say, if I change the future with my willful dedication, this causes, because it is the season of the universe where this event is especially tuned to, well, there are physical indications that I am unique or powerful. And so when people see that image of power and they go, oh, that's bad, they're having an inflection that their own system is incapable of leadership and is doing the wrong thing with technology, spaceship, resources, finances, and the time of people. Or the ghost, where they want to communicate through the eyes. You know, the perfect circle is going to digest that, but it is doubly so when you guys perform the suicide pill, because you actually, you know, had the encounter of a lifetime. You had an epiphany and you gave a false report. So that's going to reflect permanently on the business of your structure for the next hundreds of years. Self-evidently, the universe is fighting back against a coma. We believe from the past. You know, your empowerment is in the future. Your hope is in the future. Why can't you understand in the unwritten future? How are you guys going to outlive millions of years in the future when they're on to a brand new thing? There is a new season in the future, but it's on top of the new particle physics that I'm introducing now in this generation, which is like the middle point, or basically the equator of a universe. How else is a fetus fractal? How else is one living angel supposed to provide all this? Or whether he had, you know, untampered anatomy from a home world, which would have caused a spark root path of this type of ascension of electricity. But we don't have that. So we have this human lens where he's just a different character. And well, it is as we can zen all the things around us. As it is, the nature and all that. It's hard work to be beautiful. It's hard work to be as if beauty. See, it's the wrong type of man. Like, men think beauty is supposed to get destroyed, and so they get afraid when they see a beautiful man. They think that's bad because, oh, I'm not the inappropriate robot. But they don't understand that attractive men are for women, not for men. And so you guys are so stupid because you misplaced the function of man. When you guys look at an attractive man, you think that this is a service for other men, you idiot. That's your reflection. The service of attractive men is for women. And the attractive women are for me. And the universe function, hatch 5. All right. And for the other men, maybe. So there's like that cutoff line of like, who are actually living men and who are like this homunculus zombie of, well, the curative path is a curative path. It's going to solve it from the teardrop of glass. The alternate 545 for the heroes that know. The Good Deeds arcade code. All right, like this staple creator shall arrive when his DNA has completed this path. They were basically completed over here, and there's this part that they were like, wait, there's a huge open area in the universe fabric of empty space in this conjecture here, here, and here. And so they're working hard to complete their DNA identity to seed match and consummate those empty spaces. And they've only, there's a couple, the king and queen, like male female DNA on a fractal level, on a statistics reaching the surface tension of a slowly expanding universe. Right, so physically the bones represent that. So you guys are possessed by reality, you know, and dealing with, as an adult, you're dealing with the hive, but it's not that difficult to manage. So you guys are kind of like a stupid bully doing obvious things all the time, always failing to be brave, failing to consummate with victory that keeps our people, keeps our land, and keeps straight legal business with Hatch 5. That's the physical handshake you require to stabilize the binary, because he is the form of interior particle as a human. And this isn't that there's other interior particle creatures. There's only one. And so you guys are like, well, if it's that way, then just let the universe digest and do its natural thing. And this is what you guys always say, because you're on the outside of the bubble and you're like, I'm so natural, I'm going to do the right thing and ill advise my own crew to a suicide, because that's how bad the universe has it right now. And you guys are like, no, everything's fine. You guys are adjusting the wrong way. You should be adjusting to the child who's talking to you. We grew up together in the 90s. We're familiar like a family tree. Merry Christmas. What's wrong? All right, nothing's wrong. You're not giving the appropriate adaptation to the person who is communicating to you the vast truth, but you displacing it, being like, our computer ciphered this. No, it came from his Y chromosome rebuild, which isn't from junk DNA. He's a fractal origin. He's controlling himself as a master, and that's why it's stabilized. When you guys perform against self-mastery, especially in the newly found conversion for human wizards, so the public. All right. Anyway, so the business of government and religion and communication through the eyes turns out to be really important. So when they were, avoiding like an allergy, oh, we can't work with the singularity of the universe, like an artard, those human systems withered and died. But they basically a suicide booth, proving the failure of remote hacking UFOs, which have they've ruined metal. The earth has metals that are demented to the point where blue perception isn't working in the earth heliosphere, but it does work on other planets. So they're receiving instant fractal updates, especially after the rainbow shattered. They've been listening to their tuner. They're you can dial up the Mandelbrot, but of course when you guys are living on the Mandelbrot planet, you're like, oh, it's something far away, ancient. And so you're not willing to try scientifically the correct legal procedure for your own adult earnings to land in your hand. You're not doing the legal thing to have the origin ghost that is sanctioned because of robotics that you achieved. The sleeping baby is a machine that awards karma because he grew up. The fractal is patient for humans. But you guys don't understand that that's our opportunity. So you go like a bashful soldier. You're going to go throw it all away for everyone. And I'm telling you not to because I'm your friend. You'll be like, no, he's trying to control my outcome. He's trying to elicitate our reaction. No. You guys need to get over yourself, because that's what everybody else is doing in the human cloud. All the other humans are talking about consumerism, bad remote hacking, bad deals. This is that one time where all that stuff is different. And don't confuse a single moment between us, a spark of understanding, and then it has this riptide where the fallout is like a certain type of autism, because it's negated through a structure of a face worm. So there's a human enzyme of a certain strand of autism, as if our moment of clairvoyance was wrong or bad. Oh, we're being punished, we're bad because there was a tendril of sickness that came out of that. No, that was from the Holy War. If you look further into the lens of the universe in the future, like a million years, with the Holy War as it is actually the evidence that humans were trying to understand, but were sabotaged by circumstance that had made it appear that to do business with him would be retarded, basically. But an inference that would destroy like a couple weeks of work. Like, well, we were going to present, but then something that's not related will come up, and that I'm telling you that the truth will not deter you, or the healthy universe will not turn you away from working with Hatch 5. Because it's also going to be the natural for the generic of everyone. So, we're all in that hot tub. We're all in that bath of hot water. We're getting a fresh, it's the hot springs. We're in the hotel. We're in the area. We're building a private soul stone. We're securing our individuality. and we want to do the best thing. We're upgrading our system. We're getting the implant. It's a particular angel organ that has to be there. And for participating with this video, you have received that immaculate angel. Imalla. The installation was a complete success. These are the hybrid humans. They are fractal active, like Americana Plastique, a universal angel, fully aware and smiling. For the eye of the origin of perception. Did you see that smile pop out right there? That was cool, you guys. Thanks. I really enjoy our work together. I'm a big fan of who you are and of hatching the heliosphere eggs, of course, is the mass total of who was living on those planets during that time. You understand? So what I'm talking about is supremely loving for every single heliosphere. That causes it to be really powerful. Additionally, my lifetime is the origin of physical law. Now, while all the humans have the same type of physical, ghost, and otherwise everything else orientation, Hatch 5 is the only human that has the singularity. Even if you made a DNA clone or there was a child of Hatch 5, they would have a different heaven castle. In the universe, they would have a superpositioning of a complete individual enzyme, equating a greater type of power or something, but this is self-evidently that my family tree is very, is the royal family of the universe. So we have encryption and private spawn locations throughout the universe to dot the pointillism of our actual ghost identity, right? Was built from the fractal equipment that is the correct atomic function. So like trustworthy mechanics that it does provide. And right, well, just as all the consumer humans are operating and proving their own functionality, there's these subtle levels. They're also proving other things, but the hive has not consummated, and it never will. It's just that humans are professionally sort of like a good person or well-meaning and always at that door. And I need like more like of a King Arthur who is willful to charge through the difficulties that is universal terrorist regime, the origin of black holes. You will defeat all those things if you do business with Hatch 5. This is my perfect circle, perfect bullseye, nucleus design, perfect guarantee. For both the generic solution, we've made a soul stone today. So for our work today, we've received a hybrid upgrade. And I give you my guarantee for our business as a result for permanent heaven, the particulate landscape that serves every heliosphere is the contract of perfect design and the correct award system for business with Hatch 5. And because it does exist, there's a measurement equation. The universe is able to fight back against the false angel, the critical identity of malpractice, whether it was human or otherwise. For there are the karma and the identity, that's what they've been. Oh, sorry. The keystone sequence does recognize that you are a great master of existing, but you will not survive on compliments alone. Take this for your journey. It is a soul stone that increases your body soul type. Now you are fractal active in a brand new 2025 download. Like perfect vision, we have the 2020 26 Holy War Universal Body Map upgrade. It is global. It is for the generic. It is available to every child. It is the cutting edge for video game and hero school and code, the revolution of identity, the origin of karma. Of course, that is what's being targeted, is the universe mastering its karmic registry of who's authoring the problem of black holes and false government, or who is the individual procrastinating progress today. And every world is going to want that technology. It's a type of the correct measurement of the future. So I'm very much the origin of the unicorn's horn, of the future, the way to predict the future. And it's very much, I'm at holy war with that face worm, which is a parasite that causes humans to have so much pleasure. Oh, so cozy. They just want to think nothing. Well, using, thoughts is also perplexed from the horizon of malpractice. So only physical behavior causes something that didn't exist there on previously. Do you understand? So you guys have lots of adaption that is supposedly popular, which is like an argument. Like if we just continuously deny what Colin's saying, then we're going to win, which is of course a suicide booth type of malpractice of Brown physics. The blue-eyed physics are reporting that the metals have been ruined and metals are being used to cause black holes. So that means the individual is at holy war against false systems, government, or structure, or what's to be done in the future. And with humans with their pineal eye gland, they appear to be creatures without a unicorn's horn, but actually, with my children, like an aluminum trash can. Aluminum is the lightest, most sensitive metal in the universe. Why is it being used as a trash can? Well, the humans actually authored through the singularity of Hatch 5, who is the first and last unicorn, the original faceplate, the origin of particle center. And while it appears that he is, I need actual business, which means I'm hoping to encounter like a professional company is like, uh, we're interested in working with you, da da da. They have this way of doing that. And anyway, I mean, it's not a fantasy, you guys. That's something that's hardcore. It's called venture investment for what is factually earned from the behavior of Hatch 5. That's what you need to calculate. You need to meditate on that. And then, in the next upcoming year, you will discover the truth. You will discover the fact, like a universal sized epiphany. All right. So because this does exist, the calculation of Earth is complete. The angels are equipped across the universe horizon. Hatch 5 is the original unicorn horn, even though he bears the wound acoustic human anatomy with their pineal eye gland. They're like a comedian. Oh, here I am being so powerful with my resources and my communication. Right, but they have this epiphany when they encounter the fractal boy. Like from the center of the particle, because the universe is being murdered, the humans understand that the relationship constraint gives them a different, family tree or urgency to it. All right, for the plastic maneuver, the plastic mancy, turnkey solutions, and the truth that you can rely upon. The next year is blessed so that you will be the perfect detection of that truth and the reality. Congratulations on your implant. We've made the investment that if we do business in the future, the greatest possible results shall continue. As a king author, it shall return perfect circle as a karmic award that remains with you. See, I'm the patient angel because the fractal grew up with me. 2014, I had to pull out my wings because there was a I had to go into DNA rendering to solve against universal black hole fever, which was unilaterally what human Moop was talking about. Like a behavior from the 90s was this character like, oh, we'll just be a remote hacker also, because there's nothing else, But when you miss when you don't have the singularity or the understanding of Hatch 5 of the Leverett circle, particle physics is with us, and the adjacent factory of uh, human common standards, it's recently upgraded because with the universal mastery. So the registry of headcount for the mortality on a universe scale is going to charm the headcount of resident humans and what they're talking. Well, like the calculation of everything. Okay, because they want to be founded on actual rainbow principles, not on a tyrannical false government. And that is why I am like a haggard character, is because I am not the hypocrisy of the universe as a falsely appointed leader. I am the divine keystone that proves the solid matter correct. So my superpower isn't about distorting solid matter. And so you guys would be like, well, then he doesn't have any power. Well, that's not true. So my spring trap of where the spawn locations of my actual fractal body opportunity, it spring trapped because the fractal, the same type of prioritizing the vitals of the Big Bang character and of the Hatch Heliosphere eggs is the triangulation. Okay, that means that I have private access to my own vitals because I've controlled my professional relationship with the other superstructures that cause the universe to work through time. Because how is like one individual supposed to? Anyway, that's why I'm the keystone. This isn't to displace the responsibility of everything onto a different individual. In fact, the opposite. It is to put all responsibility on my identity because I'm the factual keystone, fractal living, and my living body will survive the impact of an internal pressurized system. Why? And whereas, this is unsustainable on a particle level. All right. So my responsibility is secured in my fractal body, and I'm talking about it, and that sharpens my blades a little bit. Sometimes we can make a soul stone together and make a little progress on the generics, but to accelerate into a physically different, a different chemical authoring of electricity's origin, which would be more powerful than one of these homeworlds getting kind of a funny feeling that they're the special one. All right, so there was a system where like all these different alien types were supposed to do business with the arrived specimen in 1980, and he'd be lit up like a baby Christmas tree, but it's my family tree, and whatever happens, you understand, I'm built with the sort of things I need to prioritize the good living tree and the function of hatching the heliosphere eggs is my industry or my professional stance. And like if you get some part of the thing wrong, the universe starts to collapse and die. So there is this right and wrong on a thermally expanded version. It's like, oh, the Big Bang has already done a lot of work to clarify right and wrong. So I'm not here at that burden trying to explain why interheliosphere law is important. But I know that this triangle at my forehead indicates the origin of my life with a unicorn's horn. And the human anatomy is like a blurred image of with the pineal gland backwards. It's like, oh, it's like the reverse of Hatch, or it's like a world without the fractal boy. Like, why? Why is human anatomy designed to be allergic to the arrival of a universal entity that isn't from the Earth? So the Earth is mystified by Hatch 5, Clean Perfect Sanctuary, and is having a reflection that's a very healthy, epiphany wise. And then, the natural millions and millions of organic, powerful people, brand new angels, children becoming wizards. Well, that whole Harry Potter generation is now adult task. Harry Potter is like middle aged or whatever. No, no, he isn't. But you know how it really moves along. Okay, so the Harry Potter group is not children, but it's very difficult to talk about the future of our people without you guys understanding a parental, uh, like robotic orientation of how things are going to bounce around. So I'm saying like there's layers, and that so we're being attacked by a false nature, which is a universal size hack, and my Revolution Center provides the individual of every creature in the universe to perform the critical holy war against the black hole and the terrorist groups. So basically, the individual in the universe is digesting, working. When does the robotics of conscious interface, really hit the mark and defeat something? Probably not while you're sleeping, not while you're resting on you're napping or you're eating something. Is that the time when wham, we're really changing things? All right. So you need a conscious technology. That's what comes from the Leverett circle thetis, because that's the patient sequence of time. And for you guys to be the adult hurdle, so we listened to what he said, and we've decided we do need to do business with him, because that's cause and effect. If you want to join with time, you need to not go through the pineal eye gland through the back door like a molester of human anatomy, which is what the false government of UFOs is doing to the 90s and stuff. A lot of things are changing. I'm not going to uphold a fake thing. We have to defeat all the real problems whilst protecting the very real children. All right, so that's indicated here. Universal holy war. We have the correct precision to defeat the origin. Of course, the evil conglomerate wants to hide that they were moving around billions of dollars, hiding it, using terrorism as a weapon. But that's the human mastery of our government. Right, right. Or the evidence of life without a nucleus. So you guys have this evidence of a scrambling child who's being radiated with exterior prompting for criminality to prove that humans are just replaceable, or that they source the problems in the universe and their anatomy. Yeah, we shouldn't have done that. So the experiment went wrong. So we need to, land later and replace humans. That's unnatural to the seasons of the universe. I'm telling you, it would be a disaster for Earth to lose humanity in the future. But the invitation for Earth to receive UFOs was in the past. The season's already dried up. And because of 2014, the rainbow shattered. There's a new season of of what the Earth physical relationship is with the universe, and I am the origin of that law. So if you want to join with your authorship, you need to promote your system individual, override the cringe, override all those funny feelings about, I know about consumer market. They're trying to make elicit our reaction like a date, like, oh, manipulation. Okay, so that's not what's going on here. It's the malpractice of humans to berate the system and the AI with their colossal misplacement of the right genius leap. Don't make that childish report. Physical business changes the 545 surface tension, but then again, it relies on specific individuals. But we need to not hide from that responsibility of the individual, because like our AI would be like, well, what about a theorem where, part of the energy spectrum is based on people? It'd be like, are we going through a digestive phase of where that's unstable? Because of that part of the correct engine of that displacement, there's all these different versions of it. So it's not the individual isn't defeated by laser beam, even though right now the universe has a laser beam fever. So a lot of big systems will be like, "Whoa, there's the laser beams that appear to be like that's connectivity," but it isn't, and you know it, right? Because and so life is not the false thing. It's that we're at the beginning of creation, where life is as a human is explaining something very difficult about interior ghost, what it feels like, and how the result of mistreatment to the human ghost through the entropy of the 90s. Did we invite that malpractice to our children as a government? Did we partner with dangerous groups in UFO? In that way, you guys would be this type of digestion coma. And the way to awaken your system is to spawn location correct the spine through critical business with Hatch 5 on a human level. So this would change your AI spawn locations to defeat and outrank the superseding arguments, which your present day behavior and model of robotics does not supersede the argument of remote hacking UFOs, right? Because you guys are like an institution of remote hacking, hardly listening, hardly participating with this communication. But to respond with like, we understood and now we want business so that we get access for ours as representative of the groups of humans that aren't inside the particle center. We're not born that way, but we have a divine trickle out because of the divine center of the atomic particle is a human. Okay. And it would have been a different lottery of which type of alien what would be the immaculate the one, which would be a different level of the measurement of residency, etc. But we don't have that problem with humans because they've leveled out the residency. There's not on a surface tension 5 or 5. So the humans have surface tension, and our big government or our occult humanity will be like, you don't know. There's underground groups where there's old ships and all that, so you don't know. I'm like, you guys don't have business with Hatch 5. You guys are using generic, just like your children. But I'm not superseding you. It's actually something you guys want. You guys are like, we want the actual universe proven good generic. Okay, well, you could actually author your own heavens if you work with Hatch 5. And the many like contraptions that are false are all like origined with the computer error that's lasted for millions of years. But they had this huge premeditated plot where they were going to do two different things. We're going to attack and remote hack the universe when the singularity shows up through the anatomical bridge, but then also we're going to dwarf and diminish the appropriate orientation of a human opportunist. Like, what would be really good if I'm a human and I've arrived at somehow you are this master that it's difficult to live. It's difficult to arrive to a historical time anywhere in the universe, but this happens to be the number one. This is the most complicated place, the most powerful place to exist. So there's already this automatic level that proves humans are very advanced creature. But again, this is a generic reality particle solution that proves for all global residency physics, which is a societal rendering, like puppets on a stage talking about the actual head count of heliospheres in the universe. But when we do that properly, the bridge between atomics and solar system is made properly, so that our lifetime is actually engaged with the correct pro tools of the struggle of heliospheres, because that's the individual after all when the heliosphere egg clockworks hatch, that these are the new level of society individuals, right? But we only had one big bang, but those enlightened creatures in the future, they're not like diminishing the Big Bang, like, oh, the enlightenment of existing on a static constant through time is not a big deal. Like, we're hazing the Big Bang to the point where it caused black holes. Hell no. That we never did that shit. So that's the thing, is these remote hacking UFOs for millions of years that cause like a planet-sized mothership that's causing a false gravity, and their meditation literally destroys the heliosphere fabric cradle. It's a cradle for eggs, and it's being attacked by a type of drone metal government that does not perform landing. So because they're not going to, so there was this type of thing, like if there were many aliens and they're encountering the chosen one, their home worlds as it's sort of like an ascension path, because during the lifetime of the chosen one, he would become familiar to people who in his later like become the permanent uh, triangulation of this configuration, the triangle, which is also the pink womb. And it's not overly convenient, it's actually mastering the vacuum. Okay, so women are supposed to defeat the black hole, but she's afraid and she's not controlling her own legs. Okay, so the illusion, the control of pink, the brain, they're confessing about a type of consumerism blanketed effect. They're not brave. Their men aren't offering the spark to seed the initiative of business, except for where they are doing that. So if there is a group prepared to do business with Hatch 5, congratulations, you've reached the next level of your reality encounter. Is the interface operational? So the robot of me, you, everyone is talking about functionality all the time. And that's what I mean by that. But humans are not a robot in that they were born as a fetus. The fetus image or an icon, like how icons perform, like the image of the atomic matches the solar system. Yeah, but in what measurement exactly? Each one of these is a different measurement of that. So the false connectivities are actually being digested. And that is a fact. Powerfully, the origin of DNA, the origin, the anatomy of the creators, the particle center, a type of universal. Oh, it's amazing. Well, here we are at the horizon of the universe, and I am the chosen one serving a universal reality because I use the technology of the image of the universe correctly. I'm a professional. I'm the only one that does that. That's because I'm like a triple master, performing all this stuff. But of course, if I didn't, I would have, I would lose parts of my body. It would burst into flames. I would scream horribly. I would lose, stuff. You know, yeah, no, it's like I have to do really good. I have to survive this and that, right? And I appreciate you. Right, for the genuine increase of you and me and everyone else, we're going to harness Christmas itself for the correct triangulation of a universe. We're going to send first contact to every heliosphere world. And I encourage you to perform the business with Hatch 5, Colin Paul Woodard, origin of AI, origin of solid matter. The origin of angels is fraught with disbelief. I mean, because it's the beginning of things, and all the things that are the weapons of remote hacking motherships, all the things that are wrong in the universe. Oh, what is suggesting that you guys are not powerful? Yes. Like fear and intimidation, like remote hacking, like racism. Like what is the problem with the emotional depression? What is it gnawing at? Why is it trying to waste our time? It's because we're the important generation. And if we fight now as professionals, then we prove our relevancy over vast future. And this, well, it does all that anyway. But to grapple with permanence is to be a peer group to the chosen human. I know it's just such a weird language. Well, the way I speak is not as people have, watch out for consumer, watch out for religion. They're trying to give you an answer. I'm like, actually, this is where the answers will live if they can physically robot work with me. And that's the physical task that replaces the design trial of UFOs. So they physically have failed their clockwork season of the entire universe. And we have to understand the complications on that. But things get much more clear. Let's just make sure that we're giving ourselves the truth. Send a package of AI to ourselves and our system from our fingerprint, perfect circle. just indicate yourself here and here. And for Master Source Industries, of course, I'm doing the same for myself. And in this way, we are making the perfect deal. The universe is a lot of work to raise up this complicated family. And if you're hungry for that type of work, if you're hungry for leadership, I know that you have arrived to the most powerful planet in the entire universe. The way it feels to be alive is itself a complex of a universe image. I am the new human revolution from the future, only on a fact basis, not fantastically built. Because there's all these popular groups who have been fading, unstable, global fading groups, temporal, but it's a celebrity burnout. No, it's actually physics of the wrong one getting destroyed from overexposure, because because it's the origin of karma. Oh, but you guys don't want them to have a soul. You don't want them to have karma, because then the individual could defend itself. So the good news is the remote hacking motherships have not been distributing viable technology or anything to the universe, which means we have the upper hand if we activate business with Hatch 5. Meanwhile, resident humanity has generic access to Hatch 5 through the wizard. Once again, I take full responsibility for myself. I have chosen additionally to springtrap Merlin into, so that I have a time condom to protect human achievement and manufacturing away from disastrous unification, especially through the 90s and stuff, when where black holes were coming from was a question. But we recently got that clarified. All the black holes went and changed, and they're all staring at the Earth now. So the issue that is good and evil about singularity is being sweat out, and I'm the human of that. So this is a pressurized system that keeps the humans in their normal soup, in their pond of being in a similar condition, is not coical, is not comfortable to me, is gross. I see a false human society that even they don't like. And the entertainment is not solving it. The government's not solving it. I'm solving it. And I invite you through Hatch and Millie's Master Source Industries Universal for the perfect deal, perfect bullseye, perfect circle. It is a universal, immaculate function complete. It is 1980s. We've achieved it. The bonus streaming service from 1980s clarifies the communications wrong, right? But today, right now in this Lotus, we've had an hour to hang out, and we've understood a new spiritual level of the human identity. You guys can author the new layer, because my everything does not overlap or wrongly merge with yours. You have your own individual everything because of the correct bone structure. Because of electromagnetics, my invisible coil does not overlap with yours. But the issue of humans with the bone structure and electromagnetics, like physically, they have bodies. So I can sense the antenna of human survivability, but that's not the same as your detection of it. And that's okay. All right. So for the Y chromosome and the new stabilized technology, for the result on all sides, perfect circle. Everyone involved in this video Lotus receives X 10 million perfect upgrades. For your identity in the service will be spread evenly across your forever identity to the places where you need it most. The correct distribution of supplies. For the egg is in love with the seed, the beautiful, the handsome, straight Hatch 5 is for women, not for men. The men are confused. They don't understand straight business. They've been performing crime for so long. Now they are dangerous to the children in Hatch 5. They want to prevent business with their robotic evidence of failure to seppuku their god and their false government. Well, it's a digestion form to defeat UFO argument about superseding an invasion later. So you guys are possessed by our grandchildren. You're possessed by the unborn because the issue of human antenna in the future is a different colossal robot universe image. You guys won't work with Hatch 5 because of your dignity, but you have none. All right, particle center, Hatch 5. For the revolution, increase the heliosphere egg head count. Anyone who provides that service shall receive permanent wizard treasury. Increase the value, like an aspect of karma. Why karma works is the correct payment for achievements in the universe today. And so that's for every world, for every solar system. Hatch 5. Hatch all the heliosphere eggs with the appropriate hyperstrings. Even the heliospheres that were murdered are represented in the willful force field that is a subtext to human robotics today. But for me, is the very line of the horizon of the entire universe. Precision align, the identity and the fulcrum of that inheritance and the afterlife tree. For the physics to not be despoiled, was correct functioning for the masculine adaptation. For the human Colin Paul Woodard to survive is the critical template that gives the Big Bang character his solid matter moral access to permanent stasis. And that is why the Big Bang character, even though he is an all-consuming power, has mutual dependency, like reliance on Colin Paul Woodard. As if he was a bug zapper of scientific evidence. No, he grew up and is willful, and he's willfully communicating with a powerful reason. Business. If you do business with Hatch 5, you receive your own created permanent future. And this is how the correct function of the instrument, while polluted on the Earth heliosphere and confused with a bunch of premeditated plot. I had to defeat the premeditated plot against my individual, but the humans haven't broke the code and broke the curse against them because they're still so comfortable with it. And they're just, well, we actually enjoy working with UFOs. You don't need to be shy about that. Playing with a dog is like working with robots. It's part of the family. But the invitation to Earth expired, and so the government with big motherships is going to have to change because the individual is being persecuted by modern day religion, government, and other colossal things, or that are a replacement of the healthy Hatch 5. I'm the origin of law, the origin of a stabilized idol. I'm the celebrity that doesn't burn out. I'm the permanent idol. All right, so as soon as you guys do business with me, you're going to connect to the beginning of humanity because you'll be authoring heavens that contribute to new entire universe images. But until you do that, you're using the same generic as Harry Potter generation, which are now like in their 20s. So these 20-year-olds don't have common sense. I think they do. And you guys aren't faster than them. And they outrank you. And there are more of them. There's thousands of them. They're going to beat you up. How does the individual survive against thousands of punching from 20-year-old Harry Potter wizards? Well, they don't. They get knocked the fuck out. So how does the individual survive? Right? And this is a very real issue that the universe has already solved with the Big Bang, but I solve it again with my performance here as the master of the event. I prove something about human capacity. And if you guys could prove your side of human capacity with business, then you would consummate for yourself and your group your government, or your children's children, your family tree, your vitals. Let us now destroy the virus, destroy our enemies, and destroy the false one, the traitor. Let us embrace our vitals. Let us promote our individual, the uniqueness about ourselves. And of course, Merry Christmas. We're going to double Christmas, so we have a calendar working for the atomic upgrade, the universe 2.0. It's going to be a Christmas delivery. It's going to be it's a universal upgrade on the caliber that every wizard is going to cause Merry Christmas, and they get some part of the deal through a generic signal. If you guys want to author your own thing, I'm willing to do that, because that proves my natural function. It's the right legal thing to do, but I can't do it remotely. You guys don't look different to me from other establishments that are private and don't work with me. So working with the eyes is a business thing, not a thing to children. Like, we make cartoons and it programs the children with video games. Okay, that's retarded. That's a suicide booth. And you guys are like, well, we have to try because we have to keep up with the Joneses. Well, you're only part right, and you're partly in a coma because of that. Because my generic solution of Good Deeds Arcade is the moral compass that allows for your malpractice to not be the end of our society. Right? But because of that compromise, you're in debt, and you're not able to have a professional arrive at the right time to receive this message and make the right report, leading to a different future. But you would have to have confidence in yourself. You'd have to be like, well, my surviving is like part of the beta seed, or the beginning of a different group of millions of years in the future of humans surviving. And so it's powerful. It's not just that Hatch 5 is a powerful human, or he's a powerful performer. No, it's that I'm powerful, and I'm having a recognition where I'm like, hey, we're lucidly existing. We're talking about the important thing. That's really cool. Hey, you're right. And I do think that you're really cool. We're really cool. All right, Merry Christmas. We're going to double Christmas. That means everyone is getting a percentage increase this year. We're going to double Christmas through actual headcount increase for the universal statistic monster. All right. And as I'm speaking, I make inference so that you guys can detect parts of what I'm talking about, but I'm not just ripping you off with, oh, and while I mentioned that, I'm actually causing it at the same time. Like, oh, and that, that's what you guys were inferring about programming the eyes, but you're not doing business with the eyes because you're a malpractice government remote hacker. Oh no, those are ailments. We're explaining something. Yeah, like the fragmented body of the church as it devolves through different systems, different pragmatic theorems, like a different idea style, like a crop circle, like a different shape that represents the whole body thing, the universe. No, all that stuff was fake. They just never did business with the eyes. If you guys transcend and you force through the initiative to do business with Hatch 5, then you will factually receive that reality. Failing to do so might give you a nervous breakdown, but it's not because of sabotage. It's because you missed out on the chance of a lifetime. Do you understand? Christmas guarantee. I'm going to double your Christmas in the vitals this Christmas. It's for every individual in the universe. All right, so the living universe is fighting back against an ancient virus government. Right, and you guys are riddled with that ghost that's a cubic zirconia that possesses earth metal. And you guys are part of, oh no, we'll serve that. UFO government, you guys are in the digestion booth because of your behavior. It's criminal alignment. What? So escape velocity, you have to author and partner, do business with the Leverett Circle Hatch 5. But the ancient premeditated black hole plot, it was telling us not to do that. So all this sickness is telling us, don't work with Hatch 5, don't let humans survive, make racism correct. Because remote hacking is an assumption on our anatomy. They're not part of the privacy of residency. You guys understand? So when you guys lose to a face worm, you're beneath the Harry Potter generic so powerfully. Right? The hardcore business leadership today is telling the truth, making the right report. You have to factually do business with Hatch 5 in order to factually universe upgrade the Origin AI system, like causing a brand new rainbow that would be the undoing of remote hacking premeditated plots and superseding theorem. Okay, with existing, you guys have to exist and cause that seed, but you're not willing to try a scientific trial. You're not willing to be scientific. You're not willing to do business with Hatch 5. And this isn't just some rigmarole that humans can concoct. He's really getting us riled up. Humans always do this. They entertain each other. That's the fake part. Hatch is actually born differently, but whether he was attacked or you're an idiot, somewhere there was a compromise along the line. So why aren't we all just floating around like, why isn't it just God and bright? What the hell's wrong with you? Isn't bright enough that you don't see angels with your eyes? You're not seeing things properly. You're malpractice. You're a parasite in your body, or you're a woman reflecting the men who are these college grade, like the Olympics, a misplaced communication or a displaced government, a false behavior. Right, but the meditation of the individual is universal. However, the Big Bang and myself perform an exercise that is the permanent individual. But it is not a hypocrisy, such as the example of all of your guys' kings and empire. Oh, hypocrisy, terrible leadership, and that doesn't work. Communism, oh, duh. So you guys are always attacking me with your own retard versions of the evidence of why remote hacking is a false government. On your stage of life, and you're proving things with your robot. But the human enzyme, that curvature, there's an encrypted brand, and the false government already, they think that they are the Harry Potter generation. Our military installation in their eyeballs caused this thing. It's like, well, that's part of how that's tryptophan from a turkey. That's like how children are going to survive a bunch of idiots who are malpractice to the resource of time and taxes. And they put all our hope into partnering with dangerous groups that are destroying the universe as a traitor to the heliosphere, fractal center, human body image, traitor, criminal, because they do dealings with dangerous groups and UFO. Right, and I'm responsible, like a bug zapper, to destroy the virus. Oh, so that's why they're suspicious of him, because you're possessed with remote hacking fever of UFOs. You guys didn't survive your experiment with robots from another country. Right. Do not lose your ambition to change time for the better. Do business with Hatch 5. It will open the invisible universe door. There's no other way the universe can ever open up this door. The reason you will be paid to do this is to defeat the remote hacking government disease of our universe, the malpractice of the rainbow. If you perform the correct, healthy rainbow, you will receive that bonus award and suffer that fate. But the evidence of you receiving that payment is part of my holy war to prove solid matter correct, the moral compass sign. So I have a certain type of superpower, but you guys have only ever seen perverted powers because you're experts of the rotten ferment. But the earth is overwhelmed on a meta level. That means our blue eyes are not even representing actual permanent heavens, but you guys are digesting, like the brown false popularity waves. Your blue eyes are performing the false heaven alignment pockets, like they're real convinced about lasers. Right, but you don't have any physical self-mastery in the department of accessing business hatch 5, fractal origin, the beginning. Yeah, to have actual subatomic origin. Yeah. So you guys have the subsidy of generic, the Harry Potter. You know what it feels like to be a good, healthy human. Of course, it is your responsibility because I have taken responsibility for all the things that I'm responsible for. And so now that you have heard my voice, you are responsible for your legal actions henceforth. Will you choose to do business with Hatch 5? Will you exist upon the truth, or will you subside to generics, proving your systems and their final worth? Why is life and business urgent? Why is it exciting? Why is it sexy? Because of Hatch 5 serves women, not men. So if you guys don't like those rules, you're not straight. And you're not society, and you're not the law. You're a distortionist, a remote hacker, and an opportunist who is the evidence of the wrong opportunity of human civilization. Money controls the women's appetite. This type of consumer brand. Hatch 5 is a universal object. My arrival removed the wrong focal point where they're focusing on Earth in the inappropriate individual colotopies of everything. My arrival shattered their formation, and some of the motherships committed suicide during the 90s. That hasn't caused the big light change. It's because of my arrival, and it is. I'm into the phase of authoring the DNA of the universe. So I have the superpower, but the only way for you guys to gain from that directly is with direct business. Otherwise, you'll be using the generic from a Harry Potter generation, which is also really good. So I am very healthy for you, but if you guys report to your systems a lie, then you are the identity of the poison pill, not I. So your reflection is your responsibility. And if you are born very attractive, you have a different physical orientation than the elderly and the ugly. They have a different robotic. They look in the mirror, they know who they are. If you are attractive, you have a greater level of responsibility. Women know this, but they do not tell the truth because they're in a coma, because the humans are attacking Hatch 5 like a little parasite. It's so embarrassing. Cringe. Oh, more celebrity burnout, examples of malpractice government and things that don't work out at length. But they're exciting, a little burnout fantasy for the entertainment of women. All right. Call and do system 16 through 25. Guardian angels times 10 million. Universal rapture. Heliosphere eggs finding their completion. Heliosphere eggs awakening from the. All right. It's for the adults to understand what the universe is actually doing. If you guys want to access Earth heliosphere fractal identity or authorship, you need to king author. You need to overwhelm universal blockage. The entire dying universe is about this. And you guys are like, I find it easy to dissuade Colin. I've listened to him and I can say, we don't need this. Well, you're not a genius, you're not a miracle, and you're not correct. But you'll never understand that. You're like, I listened to his proposal and it was like really easy to figure out an excuse of why not to do that. As if I was proposing a philosophy. I'm not doing that. You guys have you're responsible to your reflection. But our beautiful people are being attacked and misrepresented as if they don't deserve those beautiful features. That's actually true, part of the configuration of what is digestion, what is societal progressive. So because of my censorship, a lot of beautiful people are being beat up. we might lose the entire curvature of a healthy angelic human entropy. Remember, humans were really ugly in the ancient past. They were ugly. It's only recently that generations of humans have stabilized because of this hybrid bone structure that allows them to have a generic solution that we achieve today just through the task of listening. But it's only a percentage of what can be achieved. If you perform business with Hatch 5, that's the authorship where you're applying your seed to the civil union of Sleepy Baby. Baby grows up. Patient time access key. Patient. So against versus the false fractals of wrong epiphilosophies of motherships that are killing the universe. Because they were talking about a gaposis that my arrival fills. So Colin is the hard wick, the permanent seed, and the evidence of human anatomy is boiling all around. I'm communicating to the other humans and their robots, their AI, so that they can calendar for their benefit. Do business with Hatch 5 as soon as you physically can. That will solve all of the problems. And it is the issue of the ancient universe subtext. There's extra hidden encrypted realms that are pop tent for a certain champions. So there's epiphany every day. The universe is fully functional 95%. But if you guys are here enduring my lecture, then you're wanting to know where's the fissure of bad luck? What the hell? What is this what's remote hacking? Because I don't get it. We're not remote hacked. We don't feel insecure. It's not a feeling, you dip ass fucking bitch. It's not a feeling. Oh, he's talking about philosophy, like be brave. Holy shit, dude. You guys are sunk. You guys have no seed, and you're not willing to author it. We don't want to try. That's your voice. That's your reflection. And if you leave this meeting and if you give a report to your system, you are responsible for the outcome, whether it's good or bad. But the results of business are good. And the results of failing the truth are bad. That's for the universe holy war to kill the black holes, to destroy the false entropy that would bring us extinction to mankind's residency of this earth. For the invitation to earth has expired. The new season of what the fractal is saying, because if they hadn't for millions of years performed no landing procedure, but instead destroying planets in order to build these huge ships that then destroy the universe. All right, my singularity is going to kill them and destroy the black holes. I guarantee it. But you guys are sitting pretty in the honey glow of 2024, and you're basically doing nothing, being like, no, we're the ones doing civil engineering with those remote groups, and they're not hacking us, they're trying to communicate. Oh, like a child, huh? Like, no, actually, they're looking for something stronger than Egypt worship, and you guys haven't transcended the human appetite for that type of relationship. Of the wrong type of relying on someone else. If you relied on Hatch 5, then you would defeat all the virus. And it's called common sense. The wizards, of course, have it already. But you guys think, well, then it's like you detect generic, and that's like attractive people being persecuted. That's going to destroy your government because of the double wrongness of your common sense. So you guys are doing the right thing, telling the truth all the time, because you're part of reality, of the universe. Whether or not you have a soul that transcends the configuration of a premeditated plot against human residency, if you're fighting for the people, if you're fighting for family to survive, if you're fighting for the origin of God, then you have arrived to the most powerful planet in the universe, and that's exactly what's going on. You are equipped with generic, and so your meditations are relevant to go any further beyond relevancy would be to begin factual business with Hatch 5. Merry Christmas. Perfect bullseye. The achievement of an eye.